Good morning, everyone. Sudashina here.
Hey, Joydeep
Hi,
here.
Sudash.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Sudashina and Joydeep. We'll be starting in a few minutes. Mitali from zStudent-CU, are you with us?
Yes, see, I'm here.
Okay, over to you, Mitali.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing good. My name is Mitali. I am an undergraduate student pursuing BSc from Chandigarh University. And for today's event, I'm going to be the co-host along with Komaldeep. Over to you, Komaldeep. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I am Komal, a final year computer science engineering student at Chandigarh University. And I love exploring different technologies and stepping my foot into the world of ones that really interest me. I am an IBM Z ambassador and the founder and the president of zStudents-CU community. We at zStudents-CU work as a team to accelerate the development of both technical skills and soft skills in students like you and me. And here we are with one of our events, Career Opportunities with IBM Z, where we will be discussing with IBMers and industry professionals on how you as students can learn good technical skills and land a good job within IBM. So yeah, with that, we'll have our panelists introduce themselves. Can we start with you, Sudashina?
Sure. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Morning here in California, bright and early, 5:40 in the morning. My name is Sudashina Srinivasan. I work as an IBM Z advocacy program manager. So in my world, it's all about bringing IBM Z to that global community, the developer community, and to students such as yourself. So I'm really eager and excited to be here today to talk about what is IBM Z and why you should consider it as part of your tech toolkit.
Thank you so much, Sudashna ma'am. Now I'd like to ask Joydeep sir to introduce himself. Joydeep sir, are you there?
Hi, Joydeep here. Yeah, can you hear me?
Sir, you're perfectly audible.
Hello. Okay. Joydeep here. I am from the IBM India. I am part of a global team based in India and happy to be in this session to speak on mainframes and career opportunities in various organizations across India on this technology. I heard Komal introducing that, if you learn mainframe, you'll get a job in IBM. I don't think that is right statement. Getting a job in IBM has multiple dimensions. But yeah, definitely mainframe is a in-demand technology, not only in IBM, but also in various other companies, the other service providers like TCS, Infosys, etc. And also in the captive centers, like for example, every major bank or various industries across Volvo and others, they have their centers in India, and they also want this technology. We'll be speaking a bit more of this technology in course of this discussion, but this is the backbone of our modern life, and more as you go ahead on the discussion. Yeah, about me, I lead the mainframe modernization offering in IBM, and part of a global team, like I mentioned. And also there's advisory services where we help our client on their mainframe modernization journey. Yeah, over to you, Karan.
Thank you so much, Joydeep sir, for your introduction. Now, can I ask Lucas sir to introduce themselves?
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm Lucas. I'm based in North Carolina in the United States, and I am the squad leader for the student experience within IBM Z. So I am focused on kind of creating and curating a community of worldwide students like yourselves who are interested in technology at large, but also more minutely about IBM Z technology. So I'm excited to share with you all later on in this meeting, some opportunities for how you can kind of plug yourself in to some amazing opportunities to meet fellow students around the world, you can meet some IBMers around the world as well, and you can start getting skilled up in IBM Z technology. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Can I ask Monica ma'am to please introduce themselves?
Yeah, hi everyone. I guess good night or good evening for you guys. It's morning here for me too. I'm in Chicago, Illinois. I work with Sudashina and Lucas with creating content and educational content for people like yourself and for educators, reskillers, students on learning about IBM Z. What I've been focusing on a lot lately is our new learning platform, IBM Z Explore, which I'm sure I'll talk about in a bit to tell you guys more about that. But same here, I'm excited to talk to you guys about ways that you can get involved on IBM Z and get started and learning new skills that you may or may not currently have. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for your introduction. We are also excited for the event. Now we have our Q&A session. Dee, over to you.
So we have some questions from students here at a university and also beyond. So we'll go one by one for all of the panelists, and starting with Sudashina. So we are very curious to know about what exactly is IBM Z and why should a student consider kickstarting their career with IBM Z and learning their underlying technology?
Yeah, so IBM Z, and I think you also heard an alternative term, Joydeep used the term mainframe, which has been historically what this has been called. So at the core, or basically, IBM Z is a computer, right? And so then how is it different from the laptop we use every day? That is where IBM Z differs, right? But before I get to that, I always like to ask this question, especially of the student audience. And I think Lucas is smiling. How many of you think you have used an IBM Z in your life? Maybe today or some other time. Just quick sort of show of hands. If you just say yes or no on the chat, it'll give us a sense of where and how much do you already know of or aware of IBM Z. So don't be shy, just, all right, I see one no, one yes. All right, we got a 50-50 split so far. Yeah, all right, cool. So I'm glad to hear a few yeses. And here's why, right? If you think about IBM Z and you're wondering what is it? Think about if you went to an ATM recently to draw cash, right? To the bank to withdraw cash. Or if you went online shopping. This is the world of COVID when most of us have had to do everything online, right? Online retail shopping, things like that. What you do is you actually use this computer that I talked about, which is an IBM Z in the back end, right? So how does it differ from your basic laptop that you have at hand is that it is a powerful computing and transaction processing machine. So it is built with multiple processors, a lot of I/O for being able to handle resiliency, reliability. There will be all of these terms that you'll hear today from our panelists, and all of that means something, right? And it is all because of the way these machines are built. So they are transaction processing machines, and they're meant to handle your everyday mission critical transactions. So think about this. When you go to your bank and want to check your bank balance, you want it to show you your bank balance accurately, consistently, with security, right? Another example I often like to give is, there's the world of social media as well, and everyone's on Facebook, Twitter, things like that. If your Facebook post doesn't show up, or it shows up 30 seconds later, or it vanishes for a few seconds but then shows up again later, you don't think twice about it. You don't really care either. But if your bank account suddenly showed zero for a few seconds and then showed a couple extra dollars but then adjusted for it later, that makes you uncomfortable, right? That would be like, what is the bank doing? I don't have zero balance, right? So that's the kind of mission critical applications we're talking about, which run on an IBM Z. And it's, as I said, a transaction processing powerhouse. So we're talking trillions of web transactions a day. Another fun sort of statistics to put things in context, right, is if you think about what can happen in 1 second. I have some charts for this, but I'll share it with Komal later so the students can have a look as well. What can happen in 1 second? Again, I talked about social media. So we're talking about 6,000 tweets, 18,000 Tinder swipes, over 20,000 photos shared. The whole world looks and feels like is Google searching things up. Guess what? That is about 63,000 Google searches in 1 second. Now, this IBM Z and this being a mission critical transaction powerhouse that I talked about, we're talking about over 1,157,000 transactions in 1 second. So that is just to, again, put things in context about what is IBM Z. I'm going to take a pause here and see if the other panelists want to chime in.
I think you covered it pretty well.
So one thing probably mainframe is a computer you cannot lift. I joke on that. You can walk away with you can steal a laptop, but you will not be able to steal it. But anyway, that's a joke. But one important thing what Sudashina said was you have to understand workload. So in computing parlance, you have workload which are probably compute intensive. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I want to do prediction of how a chemical molecule bonds together, or some nuclear simulation, and which is data or transaction intensive. Okay, so I want to calculate a tax, and I have a very simple structure of calculating a tax, but I need to do it for 10 million people, or 100 million people. So these two require different type of computing properties, and we have to understand that to understand the value of the computing platform for that workload. Okay.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Was there a part two to the question, Komal, or did I? Why should students consider IBM Z? Yeah, so I'll just put the case there of what it does, right? And given that, think about the roles that you would have in this technology space, right? We're talking about working with lots and lots of data, and having data close to where the transaction has to happen. For any data scientist, you would say, yes, it makes sense. That's where you bring in data gravity, keeping data close to where you're actually going to work with it. So we're talking machine learning, we're talking AI. In fact, if you Google this up, yes, one of those 63,000 searches in 1 second, the Telum processor, it was a big announcement by IBM at the Hot Chips conference, and it is an AI-infused processor. So we're talking AI as part of IBM Z. We're talking about, blockchain, Internet of Things. You think about the technology that is most interesting to you, and there is work that you can do on this platform, on this technology space as well, right? So At the core, though, when you talk about IBM Z or mainframes, you will hear about two roles primarily that our clients will be looking at. One being a system administrator, system programmer type of a role. The other is one of an application developer. Again, there are several applications that have already been written. Perhaps some of you have heard of this programming language called COBOL. If not, again, check that out. COBOL stands for Common Business Oriented Language. It is best suited for business transaction processing, right? You can learn more about COBOL. There are several learning opportunities, and I'm sure I can share some links with Komal as well to share with the students here. So there's these two key roles you'll hear about from when you talk to our clients, and some of the company names that even Joydeep shared about TCS and others. So as a system programmer, what we're talking about is your traditional Linux type of a system administrator role. So you really have to get comfortable and familiar with the machine and how it works. So there's that piece. And then for those who more enjoy programming and like to create applications and such, you have that application developer role. But within IBM, as we're working on IBM Z, we're talking about all of these other platform areas as well. So there isn't anything that you can't do. Let me just say that when you're talking about working on the IBM Z platform in terms of technologies and cutting edge technology that you could work with.
All right, so we heard about IBM Z and, a basic introduction to its world, how it's powerfully running, so many things and so many transactions in just 1 single second. It's really amazing. And even I heard about it, I was, very curious to go deeper into it and learn more. So I'm sure many of the students want to know about the resources from where they can, learn more about enterprise computing and go more deeper into all of these technical things. So from here, I would like to ask from Lucas, what are some of the resources that are available that students can access to, learn more about enterprise computing and be a part of a global community and maybe network with IBMers and industry professionals as well?
Totally happy to go into that. So I'm actually going to share my screen so I can show you all what I'm talking about. Here is the IBM Z Global Student Hub, and we invite you to join us here. Kamal will drop a link in the chat as to how you can join. All you got to do to join is you follow the link. Where I have a contribute button, you'll have a login/register button. You'll click that button and you'll need to create an IBM ID to sign up. It's really straightforward, and you can use that IBM ID for a boatload of other opportunities. So it's definitely worthwhile to create the IBM ID. What you'll find on the Student Hub is, so first off, let me just kind of show you all the breadth of our community. We're almost at 3,000 members, and these are some IBMers, but the majority is students like you all around the world who are interested in IBM Z technology, enterprise computing, mainframes, and just kind of interested in community at large also. And we don't just focus on technical skills, and I'll get into why that's important in a little bit as well. So what you'll see when you click into the Global Student Hub is our upcoming events, and we like to have pretty regular events. You can click over to the event tab to go a little more in depth here. We hold on to some events that have passed because they're really interesting, and we think that they would be great for you to kind of stay aware of, like our Z for Global Goals Week content, where we partnered with the United Nations to go through this UN Sustainable Development Goals and how enterprise computing kind of plays a role in that work. We have an upcoming partnership with an IEEE summit, Connecting the Unconnected. So that's a great opportunity to network with more students interested in technology around the world. So be sure to check that out. This Feed the Future, I'll kind of show y'all a little bit more about what this is about. This is a great partnership we have running with Share the Meal. So if for no other reason than joining a global community of students, learning about technology, learning how you can improve your digital skills. We invite you to join the Student Hub because you can, in doing so, feed a child for a day. And who doesn't want to feed a hungry child? So all you have to do is join the Student Hub and commit an active advocacy. So that's writing a blog, posting a discussion question, or posting a video link in the discussions tab as well. And in doing so, you will feed a child for a day. So that kind of gets me into some other great opportunities as to why you would join the Student Hub. And that's so that you can build your online eminence in posting blogs on our Student Hub. So we have some blogs here by IBMers, like the great Monica Siegel, who you'll hear a little more from in a minute. But we also have blogs posted by our community members like Brad from the IEEE, and from just students that exist in the Global Student Hub like you all, who can build your eminence, blog, and create content around what technology issues are important to you. So there is some real cool content in this blogging session already, but we also invite you to contribute your own blogs, write your own blogs. And when you Google yourself after you post a blog, this will show up. So when you're getting into job applications or applying for further degrees in technology or just degrees generally, your future employers or the application officers will Google you more than likely. And I think it's a nice little perk if one of your blogs shows up on the IBM Z Global Student Hub. The next point is this awesome discussion board. And I'm sure Komal will make a discussion board kind of for you all to talk about your learnings from this session as well. But it's a pretty lively board. We have a decent amount of posts in here, and you can introduce yourself on the discussion board. You can check out what other people have said. You can reply to them. This was, for example, a post after one of our IEEE sessions with CU, so with your university here. And we had a pretty good discussion with students introducing themselves, meeting each other. It was a really good conversation. So highly recommend that you check that out as well. Kind of some other features in here is we have our video library, and this is where we kind of host all of our content from past events. And this is where we get into, it's not just technical skills. While we do have some awesome workshops that can help you beef up your technical skills, we also have content about rocking your CV, being a better digital storyteller, ensuring that you're maintaining your well-being. That's a familiar face right there. And so we do have content kind of geared towards making sure that you are the best technical version of yourself and the best wholly rounded version of yourself as well. And just to click through this last session here is our library, and this is where you can update or you can upload videos introducing yourself, and you can click through to meet other students and you can reply to them there as well. So there's really a lot of great content in here, and we really want to curate this content and create new content that's geared towards your interests. So if you have something that you're interested in, we highly recommend you post a discussion board item and you say, hey, this is a technology I'm really interested in. Would love to learn more about it. And we have IBMers and professionals in our partner organizations in the hub who are ready and excited to share this information with you and maybe even create an event tailored to your interests. So don't be a stranger. Make sure you join the Global Student Hub, feed that child, and you can hear about awesome opportunities like the IBM Z student contest, which is currently running. But I don't want to steal Monica's thunder there because she is going to go into some awesome detail about how you can get involved with the Z student contest as it is powered by the amazing Z Explore platform. So if any of you have any questions about the Global Student Hub, maybe you're still not sold on why you should join, feel free to send those questions my way, and I am more than happy to answer you.
Thanks, Lucas, for introducing our university students to that amazing global community platform that I have been part of from last year, and I have taken good advantages of being that platform, networked with industry professionals, and the platform has enabled me to build my personal brand and share my knowledge while also learning new things. The link to join the Student Hub is in the chat. If you are able to access the platform via that link, say that in the chat, and if not, I will share a QR code that you can use to access the platform and register for the same. Let me know if it's working via the link. All right. So Lucas gave an introduction about the platform, how you can access different blogs, how you can network with IBMers and do many more things. There are two very great opportunities for students like you and me, which I assume Monica will share about. Mitali, if I'm not mistaken, you have a question for Monica, right? Let me see if we have lost Mitali yet.
You're on mute, Mitali.
Yeah, Mitali's on mute.
Mitali, are you able to unmute?
Yeah,
yourself
sure.
now?
I'm able to speak now. Actually, it was.
Yep,
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So yeah, I would like to ask my question to Monica, ma'am. Please tell us more about IBM Z Explore. What skill can a student expect to learn from IBM Z Explore?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So as mentioned, Lucas just talked about the global student community. So things that you can learn in the community, like Kamal just mentioned, are two things: IBM Z Explore, which is our new IBM Z learning platform. So you have your community now, but you want to get some hands-on experience on IBM Z. You want your own Z ID where you can look around on the mainframe and try things out yourself. This is the platform for you to get hands-on experience and start learning and developing some new skills about IBM Z that you can take for the future. So I'm going to follow suit and share my screen as well, because I am a visual learner. So, okay, so as I mentioned, we have the learning platform, which is available to students like yourself, reskillers, or educators. So this platform is really built for anyone that wants to learn and get hands-on skills on IBM Z and begin, developing different types of coding skills, languages, whatever it may be, and just really getting familiar with the enterprise system. So on this learning platform, we have 3 different channels for you to get involved. So we have fundamentals, concepts, and advanced. And with the fundamentals channel, we are focusing again on hands-on experience. So you'll begin to learn skills like JCL, you can learn about Python, you can learn USS, which is Unix System Services, you can learn about Rex, you can get your hands on some data sets and members. And if you don't know what those are, you'll learn about it when you when you begin the learning platform. So it really gives you the opportunity to not only read about what IBM Z is and what it can do, but actually get into the system and start practicing it for yourself. So we take you through a set of challenges, and we walk you through step by step on how to get started, how to download everything you need to start on the mainframe. And then we walk you through, hey, what are data sets and members? And okay, try and test out this data set for yourself, copy this data set, delete this data set, edit it. When we get further into fundamentals, when we're learning about JCL or Rex, or Python, this is when you can start to tweak things yourself to see what runs and what doesn't. So it really is just a great opportunity to get started with the skills on IBM Z, and we really walk you through it and make sure that you understand it so you feel comfortable moving forward. Moving into concepts, this is more conceptual, so it's a lot of reading about what else IBM Z offers. So we talk about the security on IBM Z, we talk about the system, so the subsystem, so other types of technology that work with IBM Z to ensure that our clients or anyone using it, like yourself, when you're going to an ATM, have that good, secure, safe experience. So the concepts is more reading and then taking some quizzes and learning a bit more about IBM Z. And then when we get to advanced is just to build off of fundamental. So we go back to the hands-on learning. So you'll go back into having your Z ID and working on the mainframe. And then we either start to introduce new skills like COBOL or partition data sets, DB2, SQL, whatever it may be, but we also build upon the skills you learned in fundamentals. So you learn JCL in fundamentals, but we expand on that in advance, and we go a little bit deeper into what you can do with JCL. So those are the three channels. They really offer you a breadth of opportunity to learn. And again, just get your hands on the mainframe, which is really cool. It's very cool to say, you know, I've worked on the mainframe. I have this experience. I know what IBM Z does, and I have practice with it. On this learning platform, it's community-based, so there are a bunch of other users that are using the platform as well, and we have a forum where you can ask questions, get some answers. We have points that you can earn, and with these points, you can eventually redeem these for prizes like IBM swag. So you can get a cool IBM sweatshirt like Kamal has, or some socks or a pen, whatever it may be. So that's a cool opportunity for you guys as well. And then the thing that I think is the coolest is you can earn industry recognized badges that you can display and show off on your LinkedIn or to your friends, family. It's really great to show to employers as well, because these badges are known in the industry and employers are going to look for these types of badges when they are looking to hire. So that is the learning platform, and this is available again to anyone, and it is open year round. You can always have access to it. It's never going away. Separately, we are currently hosting a student contest, which is running right now. So it started October 15th and it is going to end November 15th. And what this contest is it's a build off of the learning platform, but they're separate. So with the student contest, it's a bit less a step-by-step, and it's more autonomous, and you take it and build what you want to build. And with this contest, you have a chance to earn digital badges again. So just like the learning platform, you can earn digital badges, but you also have the chance to win the contest and earn cash prize. So this contest is only available for students that are 18 and up and attend an accredited school. So I would believe all of you guys are applicable. And again, this only runs for 1 month. So while the learning platform, which is this image to the right here, is available year round, this contest is only going to be available for 1 month. And we have a fun storyline that goes along with it. And we try to bring you through a journey of this IBM Z student contest. So with that, I think I've covered both of your questions. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to chat with me in the chat bot. And yeah, I'd be happy to help.
Thank you so much, Monica ma'am, for enlightening us with all the benefits that we as a student can gain from the Students Hub. Now, I would like to ask the next question to Joydeep sir. What skills do you think IBM recruiter in India expect from a fresher to have? Can IBM Z Explore platform help one to land a job with IBM Z?
Yeah, so two parts of the question: what skill? And when we the interview panels, they look into the skills. There will be 2-3 ranges of skills, categories of skills which will be important. The first range of skill will be obviously the soft skills, your communication, your attitude, your ability to learn and pick up new things. And based on the experience, people try to evaluate that. The flexibility and adaptability, you know. Um, I mean, this is for Chandigarh, right? And most of you will be probably be from the north of India. But if I offer you a job in Chennai, will you be willing to go there, right? And people say I want to go to US, but I don't want to go to Chennai. You know, that is not a flexible, right? Now, so these are the things which is important for any employer, and this is not only for IBM, but this is for any employer. Second is your technical skills. And in technical skills, there is your code skill, which you have learned as a part of your 4-year course, right? You should know about algorithms, right? And things like that. But databases. But then what differentiates you? What differentiates Komal from Mitali, right? That is where your badges and all comes in. Your what all extra things, extra learning you have done, and that is an evidence, a platform of evidence for you to have got much different type of skills. Now, the Z Explore is a level playing field across all students in India on their mainframe technical expertise, right? So if a student from Chandigarh University gets it, and a student from, say, VIT Vellore gets it, we know they are both they have done the same, they've run the same race and covered the same ground, you know. So we have that standardization. And how does that help us is we understand that this particular student has already got a preview of the mainframe, because the mainframe or IBM Z is not taught in the campuses. There are some campuses where it is taught in, they have specialized courses, but not many. And it helps if a student already has a foundational level of understanding. We can build faster on that because we anyway, all these companies I named earlier, they have an extensive training program. We also have an extensive training program, right? And you will understand these are the core backend applications. We need you to be very skillful before we can deploy you there, right? And so there's a very extensive training program, but it helps you if you already had a understanding of it, you already know how the technology works, right? Second is, I spoke of workload, right, earlier. Now, the mindset which you will have from a web designer and the mindset which you'll have from a core Java person or a Python developer, you know, because they are writing applications which is of different type, right? I mean, not technical difference. They're obviously technically different, but that is not what I'm trying to stress upon. I'm trying to stress on the workload type is different, right? And the reliability and the resiliency of these workloads of these applications are of different dimension. So one of the thing is we try to also pick up, if your mindset is that of a, I say the mindset of a mainframer, which means that you should understand that your application runs the foundation of the business. And if that goes down, suppose the core banking application has gone down, all channels of banking, ATM, web, branch, everything will go down, right? But if a front end goes down, the other channels are still alive, right? So you have to understand like that. So back to your question is, your question had two parts. parts. Just hold on. One of the part was the skills, and the second is IBM Z platform. Yes, that gives us the ability to I will not say
And
short
IBM
select,
Z.
but filter, but have a filtration criteria, because we have a volume of students and I do not have the bandwidth to interview all students. So if we have the marks filter, we have other filters. So we use, many recruiters use the IBM Z filter, explode filter, right? Does that mean you will get selected? No, but it just means that you have made it through the filter and you are now have a stand to sit for the written and interview, right? By the way, there's a very product specific company, not IBM, a different company, but they make a lot of products on the mainframe. And they recently scanned the market for IBM Z badged students, and they went on a hiring spree only for the IBM Z Explore batch students. Okay, that was the entry criteria. They relaxed the marks filter a little bit, but that was the main criteria they had. Okay, so that definitely helps.
Thank you, sir, for sharing about the opportunities that are available for students in India. So you heard from sir about how earning IBM Z Explore badges sets you apart from other students and possibly land a good internship or job opportunity. Of course, at the end, it's up to your skills and how you perform, but the badges are always there to make you apart or set you apart from the crowd and other students. So as we have reached the end of our session and we have 10 minutes to go, to sum up this session, I would like to have a rapid fire round and ask all our panelists, about the one piece of advice that you would like to give to the audience or students present here with us. So we can start with Sudashina.
Absolutely. So my 2 cents would be give IBM Z a chance, give it a try, because you never know, you don't know what you don't know, right? So get on there, give it a try. I completely agree, it's not going to be for everyone, but you won't know that until you get on there, you give it a try and actually learn a little. And I have to call out, because I just saw a comment about someone saying, I am a C developer, which is great. But here's another thing that I'd like to say. Add many different languages to your tech toolkit. No one language is going to do the job for everything that you need to do. As I mentioned, COBOL is great for business transaction processing. You probably would want to have Python or Node.js if you're scripting. So there is different languages and they're all meant for different reasons. So add multiple programming languages to your tech toolkit.
Thank you. Moving next to Lucas for the one piece of advice that you would like to share with the audience, since we already at 6:52 and we have 8 minutes to sum up our session. So yeah, anything that you would like to share at the end?
Yeah, for sure. My piece of advice is to just kind of be bold and put yourself out there, especially when you have platforms like the Global Student Hub, where you have the opportunity to blog, meet new people around the world, connect with IBMers and other professionals in a very there are a lot of jobs in enterprise computing is what I'm trying to say. So it's important for you to put yourself out there, be bold, take those risks, and just kind of, it's more fun when you're bold and you're putting yourself out there. That's my advice.
Thank you. Thanks, Lucas. Monica, we would like to go with you next.
Sure. Yeah. Mine would be an addition to Sudashina's, but just be open to learning and also building in those soft skills. So I know that we're talking a lot about technical skills and coding type of skills, but having those soft skills as well, like being adaptable, being willing for change, communicating, whatever those soft skills may be, also make sure that you are focusing on that as well, because I mean, I can tell you firsthand, I didn't study COBOL, I didn't study Java, I didn't study a lot of the languages that are on the mainframe, and I needed to be adaptable and be willing to learn those skills. You'll learn those skills when you need to. So just having those soft skills and being open to learn would be my 2 cents.
Harsh Rastogi, you are being removed from the session because putting again the question again and again is not the only solution. So yep, we'll have Q&A session at the end. So yep, save your questions for that, everybody else. Next, we'll move to Joydip sir. So any advice that you have for students here in India looking to land good internship and job opportunities with IBM or other companies working on the same technology?
So the way IBM has different business units, right? And different business units work in a different way. In India, I'm talking about. Okay. And you have to understand that we have IBM Research, we have IBM Software Labs, the IBM Consulting, right? And I'm from the IBM Consulting part, right? Where we hire quite a huge number of students every year. And your training and placement faculty member will be much more aligned to the IBM Consulting recruitment process. And I go for that. But like I mentioned, is always try to develop your differentiator. And remember, your CV is the question paper for the interviewer, right? So whatever you write in your CV, I'm going to grill you on that. Okay, as an interviewer. So the more things you write, the better it is, right? But you should be able to stand your ground on each and every word you have written there.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much, Jadip sir, for enlightening us. Now we have the audience Q&A round. So you can just post your queries in the section.
We'll take a few of the questions for now and have a panelist and esteemed guest answer those. For if you have any further questions, we'll create a discussion board on the Student Hub where you can ask anything you want from today's panelists and from other IBMers as well. But for now, we'll take a few questions. Feel free to put your questions in a chat relevant to today's topic about the IBM Z Explore platform, about opportunities, about how you can, any questions you have as a student you want to ask a panelist.
So I see a question on internship. And like I mentioned, we have different business units. Different business units have different processes for internship. Generally, first year student, the question was for first year student. I don't think you have the skills for the first, which you can use readily in as an internship in the first year. So that what we definitely have is there's a website called cognitiveclasses.ai. There's a lot of IBM course materials there with leading to badges. You should definitely visit that site, cognitiveclasses.ai, and get yourself upskilled. But the different views have got different process for internship, and they connect to the training and placement center for the internships.
If anybody else has any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We still have a few minutes.
By the way, there's also a forum, academic. I'll probably send you the link later. I don't remember the link offline, Komal, where you can get software and other things to practice on all IBM softwares. Okay. So for example, you want to practice on DB2 or something, those things are also available. I will send it. Is academic initiative link. I'll send it to you. But you need a university student email ID to log in, not Gmail or Hotmail.
Okay, so please share those links if you can to me. Then I'll share it to other students via the Global Student Hub so that they can access it there. And I believe Lucas has already added
Yeah,
one of
Lucas,
the links
yes,
for the
that is the one.
academic
Yeah.
initiative. Thank you. Thanks, Lucas, for that.
The academic initiative is great, and there are
Okay.
tools not just about Z, but IBM Cloud and all of the other technologies IBM offers. So I see
Yeah,
the
Z is
question
really
about
amazing.
I see the question about learning different languages, and there are definitely resources in the academic initiative to help out there as well.
That's really amazing. So lots of things to learn and lots of things to explore via the platforms and resources shared today. If there is any last question, we'll have that answered. Feel free to put it in the chat. Meanwhile, there's a question about certificate. Uh, as I mentioned that you can, register on the IBM Z Global Student Hub. And once you do so, there are different tabs like Lucas shared for the blogs, for the events, for discussions, and for videos. In the discussions tab, after the meeting ends, you will find a discussion board, post-event discussion board for this event. And that's where you have to, share your learnings from today's event, what you liked, and submit that. Those who submit their replies and share about their learnings will have their certificates. Also, please feel free to share your email ID at the bottom so that we can share your certificate within a week. And since I don't see any more questions
We
for
have
our
a question from
panelists.
Webhub. We have a question from Webhub. Sir, I have a low-end PC. I can't afford to buy a new one right now. What can I do to learn new skills?
practice. You learn to swim by going in a swimming pool. So start coding. If you want to code, I mean, coding skills, I'm assuming you code. If you want to learn how to improve your communication, speak, meet new people.
Thank you, sir. And if there are any other questions, feel free to put them on the Global Student Hub and direct them there to the post-event discussion board that we create. Over to you, Mitali, to take it forward and close today's event.
Sure. So I would like to end the event. Thank you, our audience, for being such a wonderful audience throughout our event. And I would like to thank our members of zStudents-CU, Murtaza, our designer, Vignesh, our facilitator, Shambhavi, our content creator, and Indranil, our marketer, for working on this event and making it a successful one. I would also like to thank Chandigarh University and IBM Z for giving us the opportunity for holding this event and helping us to learn all the technologies that we learned today. At the end, I would heartily like to thank our speakers for enlightening us and solving all our queries. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. With this, we end our event for the day. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for taking out your time and joining us today. It was really helpful hearing your valuable insights and connecting you to students of a university. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time again. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.